let's move on to the top focus story at this hour. Now, German Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul has welcomed the latest U.S. diplomatic push to end the war in Ukraine. He has stated that Germany backs all ongoing international efforts aimed at bringing the conflict to a close. Let's in fact listen into what he had to say first.
Diplomatischen Bemühungen laufen weiterhin auf Hochtouren, um dem russischen Aggressionskrieg gegen die Ukraine ein Ende zu setzen. Wir begrüßen ausdrücklich das Engagement der amerikanischen Regierung. In Genf am Sonntag gab es einen konstruktiven Austausch zwischen Deutschland, Frankreich, Großbritannien, der Ukraine und den USA. Gestern habe ich die Kollegen im sogenannten Washington-Format eingeladen, also aus Frankreich, Polen, Italien, Finnland und dem Vereinigten Königreich, um die Situation gemeinsam mit unserem ukrainischen Kollegen Andriy Sybiha.
Moreover, Wadephul has also noted that Russia continues to deploy new troops into active fighting, which he considers a significant tragedy for both the region and for Russia itself. Let's listen in.
Aus dieser Sehnsucht der Ukrainerinnen und Ukrainer und von uns allen in Europa nun tatsächlich Frieden entsteht, kommt es auf niemand anderen an als auf Putin. Er hat diesen Krieg begonnen, er muss ihn nun beenden. Wenn er Frieden will, dann muss er nun endlich Verhandlungsbereitschaft zeigen. Wir, die Ukraine, Europa und die USA sind bereit. Putin muss sich jetzt entscheiden.
The German Foreign Ministry has further added that if Russia is ready to engage Ukraine on equal terms in the peace plan, Germany would be prepared to participate in talks at any time. This comes as reports indicate that Ukraine supports the essence of the revised peace agreement, which came as a result of intense negotiations between US and Ukrainian officials in Geneva. However, according to Ukrainian officials, the most sensitive elements of the agreement will need direct discussions between US President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. These developments closely follow an unannounced meeting in Abu Dhabi, which was held between Ukraine's head of military intelligence, Major General Kirillovo Budanov, and US Army Secretary Daniel Driscoll. And we now have John Rossomander, who is president of the Viking Research Associates and geopolitical analyst. He's joining us live from Washington, D.C. in the United States. Thank you very much, Mr. Rossomander, for joining us and giving us your time here at NewsX World. Now, it's very interesting how discussions are being held on the war. On one hand, we have U.S. and Ukraine officials holding talks in Geneva, and on the other, we have U.S. and Russian officials holding talks in Abu Dhabi. Now, Ukraine seems to have accepted what is said was the essence of the peace plan. Is it very long now that an agreement could be arrived upon?
Well, I think that they have to work out the details. There's something that's acceptable to both sides. I think that it's promising now that the Ukrainians are waking up to reality that this war is not winnable for them, and that they're going to have to reach some sort of settlement. Hopefully the Russians will accept something that will defend Ukraine and to prevent future incursions.
All right, and now even as Germany has welcomed U.S. efforts, UK continues to say that there seems to be a tough road ahead. How are other countries in Europe seeing this peace plan?
Well, I think that other countries in Europe are seeing this peace plan with a bit of trepidation, because if the leaked plan that came out last week, the Ukrainians are going to have to accept the reduction of their armed forces. They're going to have to accept a lot of humiliating terms. And right now you have the Germans talking about increasing their armed forces and reintroducing the draft, the polls. I think you're going to see a shift toward Europe becoming more of an armed camp.
All right. Well, I request you to hold on as we have now some more information to give our viewers. Let's tell you, viewers, that after DNA tests have been confirmed the identities, families of 3 fallen Ukrainian soldiers have finally been able to lay their loved ones to rest. The 3 servicemen were members of the Territorial Defense Forces, were killed back in 2022 in the Kyiv region during the early phases of Russia's invasion. A funeral has now been held where relatives, friends and community members gathered to honor their service. The ceremony brought together those who had waited more than 2 years for confirmation, and many shared deeply emotional tributes as they paid their final respects. Let's listen in.
У вогоні, у воду і під кулі, якщо потрібно. Це така людина була. Вони герої. Я про таких тільки пісню чув, де вірші читав, а вони діло робили. А Росії вірити не можна. І треба огородити все колючою проволокою і просто їх не підпускати до нас.
Які можуть бути обіцянки чи плани, що людей просто катували, і навіть після цього їх розстріляли і спалили.
All right, viewers, and we have some more breaking news coming in. The White House has stated that the remaining obstacles in negotiations to end Russia's war against Ukraine are not insurmountable, but will require additional talks. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt emphasized that the U.S. has made significant progress toward a peace deal, but some delicate details still need to be resolved. These issues will require further discussions between Ukraine, Russia, and the United States, according to Leavitt's comments on social media platform X, formerly Twitter. Let's bring back Mr. Rossomando into the discussion. John, now the U.S. has said that there is significant progress, but for Ukraine, there's still some sticking points that remain. Do we see the United States addressing those concerns for Ukraine?
Well, I think that number one for the Ukrainians is security. I mean, they've already seen Russia renege on several agreements in the past, whether we're talking about Minsk agreements, whether we're talking about even the 1994 Budapest memorandum. I mean, if the Ukrainians are forced to reduce their armed forces, barred from having long-range weapons to strike at Russia, and you're not going to have foreign troops guaranteeing the peace, I think there's going to be more needed from the United States in terms of guarantees.
All right, I thank you now, Rossomando John, joining us from the United States and sharing that information with us. With that, viewers, let's move on to the other top focus story here on World Report. Now, we have news coming in that at least 9 children and a woman were killed after Pakistani forces reportedly